Welcome to today's Premier Experts, your one-stop shop to find industry experts in a variety of niches. My name is Ray Perez, and I'm a global branding expert. I travel the world speaking to entrepreneurs and business owners, and we've created this show to take advantage of their wealth of knowledge. I interview experts across different fields to learn what has made them become successful. When you interview people from a wide range of industries, those points of views brought together can create massive success for your business. Welcome to today's Premier Experts. I'm your host, Ray Perez, and today's special guest is David Kurz, who is a take action coach and real estate guru. But before we get into the interview, we have a special segment called $1 Million Mindset. This is where we get the opportunity to ask high-level CEOs what it takes to reach 7 figures and beyond. Check it out.
My name is CJ Comu. I am the founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of a company called Earthwater. We manufacture a variety of products within the health and wellness space, mainly functional beverages with micronutrients from planet Earth and a high pH designed to help keep the body healthier longer. I think the classic cliche is don't run down the mountain to try to capture one, walk down the mountain and figure out a way to capture all. Rush to market is a classic mistake that so many entrepreneurs make because the bubbling, burning enthusiasm, we want things to happen today because all entrepreneurs traditionally are type A personality, but you got to be patient. Take your time, put your plan together. It's almost like the military battlefield. Never launch 100 soldiers into the battlefield. Put your strategy together, look at all your options, weigh what works, what doesn't work, and also look at your potential casualties. So this is something, never be in a rush, take your time. Always remember, measure twice, cut once. I think the important one I like to tell people is I sleep like a baby at night. I wake up crying every 2 hours. The bigger it gets, the more problems you have. And you have to be prepared for that. You have to be prepared for that physically and mentally and also emotionally. I mean, emotions can drag you down. You start second guessing yourself. You start wondering if this is what you should be doing. Your health, some people end up gaining a lot of weight. They end up drinking things they shouldn't be drinking. And then, your personal life goes to hell. So exercise, moderation, get rest, and you got to maintain balance. I mean, life is not a roller coaster straight up and down. You got to maintain balance as you transition these types of things. Very important. I think it's always great to be able to bounce ideas off other people. It's always great to have mentors. It could be people in your peer group. It could be your executive partners. It could be people that you went to school with, organizations you're a member of, associations. It's always good to ask other people their opinions. People will confide in you. If you ask people, I need some help, I've got a question, people they will try to help you. It's just human nature, I think people do that. In business, especially in the executive world, when you're dealing at C-levels, other C-level executives will certainly share that mind trust with you. So never be afraid to ask for help. First of all, raising capital is a 24-hour process. Everybody thinks, oh, we're funded. You're really not always funded unless you truly have a global business plan. You always have to be looking for alternative methods of financing. There's obviously equity financing, there's debt financing, there's convertible debenture financing, there's private equity financing, there's public company financing, there's traditional loans. So you have to be as creative as the capital markets will allow you to be creative and take advantage of whatever those things are, and also take it in bite sizes. Listen, I've had wires for $3, $4, $5 million. Sometimes it's better to get a wire for $1 million, ramp up and take a smaller bite out of your equity or dilution or your cap table than be in a rush to take all the money at once. People think, I'm raising 5 million, I'm raising 10 million, I need all that money tomorrow. Most of the time your use of proceeds it's gonna take another year before you spend it all. Don't be in a hurry to raise the capital. Take it in bite sizes, use it, deploy it, hit the milestone and show success. The second round will be a lot cheaper than the first round.
What I like best about Brand in 2 Days is being able to intermingle with so many experts in whatever their specific spaces are.
The fact that I literally went from not knowing what direction to go in, how to present myself. I mean, I was just completely lost, and now I'm focused and I'm very clear about what I need to do, and that's life-changing for me.
A brand in 2 days is amazing because you literally brand in 2 days. So there's none of this back and forth. It was just such a gift to be able to actually get it done there.
The whole experience of being with business owners and entrepreneurs.
And it's not just the education. You walk away with actual branding material, photography, videography, your own 360 site. The types of people that can benefit from Brand in 2 Days are people like authors, consultants, speakers.
Anyone who is really the face of their business.
Anyone that's in the coaching industry.
And really anyone who wants to build a strong presence on social media.
Originally from the Bronx, New York, he served as a U.S. Marine, and after his final tour, he started his journey of entrepreneurship. He operated one of the most highly respected real estate teams at Douglas Elliman, the fourth largest real estate brokerage in the United States. In Miami, David started his own real estate brokerage firm and mentors young professionals new to the industry. He specializes in luxury real estate and has sold more than 1,000 homes. He's an author, radio host, and publishes his own quarterly magazine. David also serves as the president for the Miami chapter of the Veterans Association of Real Estate Professionals, a nonprofit organization that focuses on home ownership and financial literacy for veterans. So let's dive right into the interview with our special guest, David Kurz. David, welcome to the show, my friend.
Ray, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate you inviting me for this. This is a pretty cool honor. It's an honor, actually. Like, to be on a show called Today's Premier Experts, and the fact that you see me as one, that works. I'm happy to be here, man.
I've been seeing you for quite a while, so I did my vetting before I just invited you on the show. Just want you to know that, right?
That's awesome.
So, no, but it's a pleasure to have you here. And if you want to just share a little bit about your background, how you got into real estate, and where you're out today with coaching, consulting, everything that you're doing.
Wow, I'll condense a very long story. I was born and raised in New York City. I was born and raised in the Bronx. I am the son of a Puerto Rican single mom for a very long time. I met my dad when I was 29 years old and found out he was Jewish and made a whole shift in my life. So lots of things happen. You're growing up in the Bronx, move to Miami one day, you hate Miami because you're a teenager and you're coming from the Bronx, right? And then one day you graduate high school and you're like, what do I do, right? I had long hair, was working at Wendy's, super cool job, you know? And I decided I needed a change in my life. I needed something that was really gonna kick me in the butt. So I joined the Marine Corps, right? I figured,
hoorah,
let's just go all the way, right? Extreme. And so I spent 9 years in the United States Marine Corps. Very proud of that. I earned a master's degree in international business while I was doing that. And when I got out of the Marine Corps, my cousin came up to me and she said, man, you have a gift. You can talk to anybody, right? She said, you got to get into real estate. She was in mortgages, right? Or still is. She was in mortgages at the time. And I said, oh, you know, I'll give it a shot. And man, I fell in love with the idea of selling, and then I also fell in love with real estate. You know, like I can walk into any house and be like, I'll start, wow, looking at all the features and everything that a house has. And you know, so I always feel like you got to do what you're passionate about, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you love lollipops, sell lollipops. It works. You'll be a millionaire. You know, so that's my story, very condensed version. But eventually, I ran a very successful real estate team. I was with a couple different companies, including Keller Williams and Douglas Elliman. I finished my tenure at Douglas Elliman and opened up Kurz Real Estate 2 years ago. We, since then, have been named or nominated for the most innovative brokerage in the country by Inman. We've been honored to be the Entrepreneur Startup of the Year in Coconut Grove. We've been honored to be one of the 100 most influential real estate agents. So we've earned a lot of acclimates over the last 24 months. And we're up to about 84 agents, which usually I tell people we're at 84 agents in less than 2 years, and they're like, what? They must not be producing, you know? That's the first thing you always hear from every hater in the world. And then I say, no, I'm about 72% production, you know, which is not the norm. The norm is about 20% or less, you know? So we're very excited with what we're doing. And I found a passion for coaching, right? So I found a passion for helping people, doing things. So when I opened up the brokerage, I actually stepped out of production. And I figured if I can stop selling houses and just focus on my agents and help them grow, right? And then my business will grow through my team.
Of course.
And so that led into people coming up to me and saying, hey, Guy, you know, I don't live in Miami. I can't join your brokerage. Can you coach me? Wow. So I started putting together a coaching program. And, you know, I've got a few students. It's almost a very exclusive thing for me. You know, if I'm coaching you, it's because I feel like this is really going to work with you. And so I only take max 6 students. That's it, at a time.
Wow.
So that's it right now.
So your main focus now is still real estate.
Still 1,000% coaching and leading and training and educating my agents to become stronger, more ethical, faster, smoother, top sales agents in the Miami area.
So basically you're in the business of giving back.
1,000%.
Because that's what you do. You just
Yeah,
spend your
1,000%.
time, what you've achieved, the success that you've created, everything you've learned, which, you know, people don't realize how much value is in knowledge, right?
Right.
It's not just how much you know, it's how long it took you to know that.
Right.
And how much money you spent through
Right.
trial and error to find
Right.
out the right way to do things.
Right. And so it's funny, I have a new model that we started putting together, and I'll give you guys like the sneak peek here, but the next book is going to be about not failing. My next book is going to be called No Failure.
Okay.
Right? And so, and we might play with the title. I've had some people like kind of give me some tips on the title, but the idea here is, look, I spent 9 years in the Marine Corps, right? If we failed, what was the consequence?
Could be death.
Death, right? Typically, right? You got a 4-man squad, you're kicking in the door, one of you fail, it's a kink in the chain, the consequence is death, right? So how do you not fail on mission? Consistency on practice.
Absolutely.
Right? So do you think that like SEALs, they're just so badass that like the helicopter just shows up in the war zone, drops them off, and they just go bah, 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 and then you jump back on and they like smoke a cigar on the way back? No, it's not the way it works, you know? These guys, they will build an entire compound in an open space and practice in that compound day after day after day after day after day, thousands of times before they actually do the real mission, right? And so I really got tired of hearing so many people say fail forward so much. So it's said so much that I feel like our generation, this generation that we're bringing up right now of entrepreneurs, they almost feel like it's okay. Like, I'm going to do this, and you know what? If I fail, I'll learn the lesson. No, man. What if you went into that with the attitude of, I refuse to fail? Is failure inevitable? Of course. You're going to fail at some things. But there are some things that you have no business failing at, right? So we talk to real estate agents all the time who cold call. And the superstars will tell you straight up that they get into the office very early. They practice and role play for a half hour before they get on the phone. Why? So they practice with their coworkers before they practice on their clients. You know, listing appointments. How many agents just go to listing appointment instead of saying, hey, Ray, can I sit down with you? I want to practice this on you. Give me some pointers. Tell me what you think.
Yep.
Let's work on this together, right? So the next book's really going to be all about not accepting failure in business, not allowing yourself to fail, you know?
Love it.
And then if it does happen, how to bounce back from it.
And this is going to be your third book, correct?
My third book, correct.
Wow. So kind of give us a little bit on the first two.
So the first book was called The Blueprint: Strategies to Building a Real Estate Business. That came, it was very much influenced by that change in my shift in my business that I told you about, where I became very passionate about helping people succeed in their businesses, right? The next book is called Take Action, which I actually brought you a copy of. This was for you.
Amazing. Wow.
All right.
Thank you.
So
Appreciate it.
absolutely.
Thank you.
It's
Appreciate
autographed in case I get famous one day. But so the reason I came out with the second book, a lot influenced on what I was experiencing at the time. I was giving people the blueprint. I was giving people the foundation. My explanation was very simple. If you build a solid foundation, you can build whatever you want in it, right? You could build a house. You could build a 100-story building. Whatever you want your business to look like, as long as you have a solid foundation, you're good to go, right? But then I found that people would listen, learn, and then they would do something I call the Tony Robbins effect, right? which means that they go every weekend he's here
know where you're
and
going with
apply
this.
0% of what he's teaching them, right? Could you imagine, like, if you applied 100% of what Tony Robbins was teaching you, you wouldn't need to go back to the firewalking event,
Of course.
right? You
Yeah.
would go to the next thing,
Yep.
and the bigger thing, and the next thing, and you would move on. But the reason that Tony Robbins is able to sell out his Firewalker event all the time is because 95% of people will not take action in their life and business. So I wrote a book called Take Action, right? And I basically said to people, you could learn all you want, right? You can plan all you want. You could have the most amazing blueprint on the planet to becoming a multi-trillionaire.
Yep.
But if you don't take action on your plans, then you're going to be stuck exactly where you are. And so, you know, and we use this a lot in my office. When you come to my office, you're going to see I have a huge, huge poster board on my training side called Take Action. It says it right up there. And I want my agents to think that way, you know. I have one amazing agent who's like blogs every day. You know, she's in your face every day. She's on social media every day. And I said, you got to do videos. Oh, I don't want to do video. That's what I said. All right, but that's the only thing you're missing right now. If you did video compounded with everything else that you're doing, you would take over.
Yeah.
She took action. She's doing video almost every day. It's insane, you know? So I think, you know, like I said, if people could read this book and just take a moment to step back and say, okay, let me take some of these tips and then actually apply them to my business, put them to work for me, they would change their industries, change their lives, change their businesses forever.
Well, I love the fact that the book is not just about real estate, or it's not just applicable to real
Right.
estate. It's applicable to any business. So any
Right.
entrepreneur, any business owner who reads this is applicable to their business. I love that.
There's a quote in here that I wrote that I now say at just about every coaching session, and I say it does not matter if you're selling bicycles, lollipops, or real estate. The rules are the same,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
The rules are the same.
I was part of a GKIC, Glacier Kennedy Insider Circle marketing group for quite a while, and one of the things that was the commonality was that people think their businesses are different. So when it comes to marketing, they think that marketing strategy won't work for a
Right.
business, which is the biggest mistake actually, because the reality is that same marketing strategies can be used across any
Right.
business. It's just really figuring out what those are and staying.
Well, if you think about it, you got you know, Nike, right? Let's just use Nike. I love Nike's story. I love that he was almost broke. I love that they tried to sue him for millions and millions of dollars, and that's how Nike came to light, you know? And if you think about Nike and the direction their commercials have gone, you know, it's no longer, hey, check out the new sneaker. It's no longer the Air Jordan. It's the story. It's the runner running in the rain.
Yep.
It's the young teenage kid dunking with the good shoes on.
Yep.
It's all that great stuff that's coming into play. There's a story behind it. And you notice how marketing over the last few years have really gone to storytelling, right?
Yep, 100%.
And real estate's always like 10 years behind the game, you know? They're still shooting videos of houses, right? And I'm like, tell a story, tell a story, tell a story. Get in front of the camera, be in your video, be the Puff Daddy of real estate, get in the video, right? And tell a story about this house.
I'm so glad that you're saying this, because obviously you know I'm a global branding expert, and,
Yes.
and this is what I travel the country speaking and preaching to entrepreneurs and business owners and letting them know that they can leverage the power of their personal brand.
Right.
And you know one of my mentors and coaches, Bill Walsh, and he always talks about that exact same thing, about that it's about being out there and being the face and being able to connect with people and not just being the company and being non-traditional in what you do.
Right.
And you'll be the one that's getting that attention. So I love that you make that point.
Right, man, thank you.
And
makes
let's
sense.
and talking about Nike, something that I say in a lot of my speeches is Nike is the most recognized brand in the entire world. People know that swoosh.
Yeah.
But what's the best-selling Nike of all time?
Air Jordans.
And Jordans now are their own. They're not even with Nike
They're not even
anymore.
with Nike, yeah.
Because the person will always help sell more
Yep.
than just a product
Yep.
or a company.
Yep.
And the best-selling Nike is always going to be the Jordans.
Yep.
And Nike's best-selling shoes all are attached to some type of athlete.
Yep.
So when you think one of the largest brands, the most recognized in the entire globe, their best-selling shoes are attached to a person. And that is exactly what you're saying.
And so they're telling the story with the person. Is Nike the best shoe in the planet?
Not
No, not by far, believe it or not. Like, not by far.
Yeah, actually it's really
right?
not. But
And so But is it the best marketed shoe on the planet? 1000%.
And I was going to say, what Bill always says is, tell a story, make a point, tie your point back to your offer.
Yep.
And if you're doing that and you're out there and you're getting the exposures, you're going to win over your competition.
Yep.
I love that you're doing that.
Awesome.
So to our audience out there,
Yes.
who are entrepreneurs or business owners, and either they might not be reaching the level of success that they want just yet, or they're struggling, what are some good key points that you can give to them?
Wow. There are so many, but if I could just stick to the method that I teach, right? Which is utilize what I call the 4 points of your foundation, okay? Social media is huge, huge. It is the platform right now. More people are on Facebook than on television, right? Use social media, okay? So social media is one side. I still believe in email marketing. And although it is probably the least return on investment, it is probably the cheapest marketing platform you'll ever have. And you can use it to tie into the next corner, which is your website. Have a strong, strong internet presence, not just on social media, but somewhere I can go that belongs to you, and it's like me peeking around your bedroom. I want to get to know you, right? I want to know who you are,
Yep.
right? And then your personal connection database. In my opinion, I grab my phone, when my phone's doing the live, I'm sorry. I grab my phone and I tell people, if you want to build those 4 corners of the foundation, right? Those other 3 matter none. If you can't pick up the phone and call somebody and say, hey, my name's David, I'm in real estate, we've met before, can we talk?
Yep.
Do you know anybody looking to buy or sell a house, right? If you're too scared to do that, then the other 3 are null and void.
Yeah.
Null and void.
100%.
Now, the beauty is that all of these things tie together, because your personal database, that phone call, can also be a text message, right? In that text message, you can connect them to your website, to your social media, right? If they're connected to your website and social media, then they got to be on your email database. The email database connects to all of that. So here's your foundation, right? So number 1 to tell somebody is build a solid foundation. Build a solid foundation. And then build a plan, put a plan together, have a blueprint of exactly what you're going to do, and then take action on that blueprint. Take action on that plan, right? And then see what happens. Every 60 to 90 days, sit back, evaluate, sit back, evaluate, sit back, evaluate. Always evaluate. See, I feel like a lot of people are like full force, like bulls, Yeah. They're just going forward, going forward, going forward, and they don't take a moment to sit back, evaluate, and go, okay, I've got these 17 marketing platforms going on and lead generation. Which one of them are bringing me the right ROI? Can I turn this one off and shift that money to this one, because this one's giving me, 22% back, and this one's bringing me 2% back.
Yep.
Things like that. To recap and just put it all together, number 1, build a solid foundation. Without a foundation, you can't build a business, right? Number 2, make sure that you have a plan and a blueprint. Your strategy's put out to play, right? Go 12 months out, 18 months out, but have a strategy, okay? Number 3, take action on that blueprint, that plan, or that strategy. Put it to work. Actually do it. Don't just put it in writing and say, wow, this is freaking cool, man. I'm gonna be a millionaire, and then do nothing with it, right? And then lastly, but so important, is evaluate. Every 60 to 90 days, sit back and evaluate your business, and evaluate what you're doing in your business and what's working, what's not working, which will make you turn back to your blueprint and make slight adjustments. And keep going from there.
I love it. I love it. Well, if people want to attend some of your events, get some private coaching, or whether they're in real estate or not, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
Right. So I have a site, davidkurz360.com, right? davidkurz360.com. I'm going to say it again, davidkurz360.com. That's going to connect you to everything that I do, right? It's going to connect you to my business platform. It's going to connect you to my coaching platform. It's going to connect you to all my social media, my YouTube. I give away so much content on my YouTube. It's insane how much content is on my YouTube. So all those places, you're going to be able to get in contact with me in one location.
And I love that you do that because people can actually start getting immediate value instantly the moment they connect with you.
Right.
And then at that point, they get to feel comfortable if this is a good fit, and then they can move forward in whatever. And I love the fact that you do that. So
Right.
Thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show.
Ray, thank
Looking
you for
forward to
inviting
seeing
me. I
you
really
again.
appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us on today's Premier Experts. I'm Ray Perez, reminding you to never leave for tomorrow what you can do today, and always stay true to your brand. If you or anyone you know is an expert in a particular niche or industry, we would love to have a conversation about potentially being on the show. Just visit todayspremierexperts.com, click on Be a Guest, and fill out the form.